Let's look at what the portfolio for this module would look like. As you can see, the portfolio starts with the title page, whereon your topic, your student number, etc. is given. This is followed by your declaration of own work submitted. After your declaration, you have your table of contents. Now please note that you should have only one table of contents for your entire portfolio. You will thus have all of your contents in here. As you can see, you have chapter 1, 2, 3, and 4 here. The names or headings of these chapters should be the same as the corresponding assignment. For example, chapter 3 is called Designing the Research Strategy. Another two things that I want to show you here is that each chapter in the portfolio has its own introduction and conclusion. If you have a look at any academic book or even a master's dissertation or doctoral thesis, you will see that each of the chapters will have its own introduction and conclusion. You should also have an introduction and conclusion for each chapter, which outlines, introduces, and concludes the chapter specifically. Now, if you look under the additional resources again on my UNISA, you will see that I posted an infographic of sorts for you. This infographic is developed by the University of Melbourne. It tells you all about writing an introduction and conclusion. Please have a read through and have a look at that. Okay, now 3 specific things that I want to tell you about your introductions and conclusions for this portfolio is, firstly, that you should always refer to your previous chapter in a next chapter's introduction. For example, see here in the introduction to chapter 3. First, I refer back to the previous chapter and then link what was discussed there to what is to be discussed in this chapter. Just so, in a conclusion, for example, this one, you refer to a next chapter. Now, this is one way for you to link the different chapters together into a whole. Remember, you are busy with one report, not 4 different assignments. All of the chapters should flow together and link up with one single golden thread. The second thing that I want to mention in terms of in your introductions and conclusions is that your introduction to chapter 1 should not just give an introduction to this chapter, but should introduce the study as a whole. This introduction will thus be a little bit longer. So too should your conclusion to chapter 4 be longer, as it will offer a general conclusion to the study as a whole. Now speak to your supervisor if you need any help in this regard. The third and last thing that I want to mention in terms of introductions and conclusions is that there was a question on my UNISA regarding the use of references in your introductions and conclusions. References in introductions and conclusions should preferably be avoided and only included if completely necessary. For example, if you give a definition. For the most part, however, there is no definite rule, and mostly this depends on the preference of the writer or the examiner. Please, therefore, play it safe and avoid references in these sections if you can. The last thing that I want to show you on this mock-up of a portfolio here is that your list of sources consulted should be a consolidated list of all of the sources that you used throughout your portfolio. There should not be a separate list for each chapter. There should be only one list, and it should be in alphabetical order. Now, if you have any trouble with this, please watch this first video under how to reference in the website that we told you about before. If you do not have a link for this website, please email your supervisor or even me, and we will forward it to you. The website also has information on introductions, conclusion, labeling of tables and figures, and the like that you should please familiarize yourself with if you have not done so already.